As you might have seen on my second channel named Will Aldridge, I did a series recently backtesting a strategy for, I think I did 11 or 12 months of data, and we were basically trying to see if we could build a profitable strategy. That strategy started really well. It was doing very nicely over the first few months, and then it went downhill. But you guys love the episodes. So what I'm going to do now is bring it onto the main channel. We'll go through every single step of creating a strategy on gold to hopefully take live, and if the series does very well, take some prop firm challenge accounts and hopefully get a payout. So it will basically be from a complete blank canvas to prop firm payout if all does go to plan and we are able to create a profitable strategy. If you obviously want to learn how I trade currently, how I'm able to get payouts, how I'm able to trade profitably, be sure to check out my mentorship. There is a link down below and everything will be laid out for you there in much more detail than this video. And obviously you'll be learning a tried and tested strategy. Whereas in this video, we are going to be basically experimenting. I haven't traded with 1 hour time frame or gold for probably 3 years now. So it's going to be quite unfamiliar territories, but that is the beauty of it. We will see what happens. If it loses, I will post a video. If it wins, I'll post a video, because you guys will get to see me backtest. And I basically get to show you how I backtest. And that's kind of the best way to actually go about it, in my opinion, for you guys wanting to learn, rather than me just showing you, here's a payout, here's some profits, here's my lifestyle. No, I'd rather teach you how to trade so you can trade independently, rather than having to basically just look at YouTube videos for the lifestyle purposes. And that is the goal for this content, I'm guessing. So the aim is to build a profitable strategy that goes alongside my current strategy. Keyword there, it's not a main strategy. So when I'm focusing on the returns and the max drawdown and everything like this, I'm not going to treat it as this is my overall strategy. It's going to be something on the side. So let's say it does return 5 or 10% per year. That's completely fine as long as the drawdown is low, because if you're able to add multiple uncorrelated strategies to your trading portfolio, then you are able to massively increase your yearly profits. Even if it is, 5-10% here or there, it's very good going. So I'm going to record everything live for you, don't you guys worry. And we're going to get into it right now. So you can see on the screen here that we are on FX Replay. So you can see here we are on FX Replay, which is the backtesting software website that I actually always use when I am testing, mainly because you can kind of simulate live trading conditions, which makes it a very enjoyable experience even when you are testing. And obviously it gives you the analytics afterwards as well. And obviously this video isn't sponsored by FX Replay, but they're just always a company I would recommend. So what we actually need to do is create an idea for the plan. So we did this in the other series, so it's going to be quite similar. XAUUSD, and we're going to look to trade probably after my trading hours in London session. So I trade currently GU 8 AM to 12 PM. So it will be after that. So it'll be 12 PM onwards, let's say. And let's just say strategy. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to figure out some confluences, or 1 or 2 confluences that I'm actually going to test. And then what I'm going to do is basically test it. I'll test like a 1 confluence strategy at first, and then we'll go from there if it is actually profitable. But what I actually have an idea on is I'm going to see the high and low of that 8 to 12 PM range. And then when price breaks and closes above that 8 to 12 range, the high or the low, I will enter a position. So that is what we're going to do. So we're going to do 8 to 12 trading range, break of high or low, enter on close of break. And risk reward wise, very simple. We're just going to do a 1 to 2 risk reward like that. And then with the stop loss, if I just think of something here, we can put it, let's put it, it's obviously gold, so I'm not going to do a fixed stop loss on this. We're going to put it 2 candles below. 2 candles below wick. And that will make sense in a second. And this is what I'm going to test first. And it will seem quite weird just writing down random things like this and then testing it, but this is what I actually do. I'm starting to code a lot of my strategies that I test like this, so it is obviously easier to test, but I'm going to show you my manual testing. And the main reason I do like random simple tests like this, if I can see something that's super simple that is happening and it has a high strike rate or it's very profitable, then I'm going to look into it further. And just simple tests like this, it doesn't take that much time, so it's something I am happy to do. So what I'm actually going to do is, if I go on here, we're going to add a session indicator. And the reason for this is so that we can see the time. So we're going to get rid of the lines like this. We don't want the highs or lows. We basically want these here. And let's just put it on New York. And if we change the time of this, let's change the color actually to a lighter color, like that. Oh, that's a bit too light. Like that, there we go. And if we're obviously looking to get the right time, currently it's obviously set to open at 12, and we want this at 8 to 12. There we go. So now what we're looking for is in this range, so this 4-hour range, we just make it a little bit lighter, we're looking for the high or the low. And when price closes above or below that range, then we will look to buy or sell. So it is quite simple. So if we look here, we can play price on, and you'll see that once we get to the 8 AM, it will start the range basically. Then we get to 12 here, so the next candle will be the 12 PM candle, and as you see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now after this one, we're going to basically look and see what happens. So you see here, if we just make sure we're on the right settings. Okay, so based on this, we actually should have sold here, but just so we don't miss out on the trade, obviously don't do this. I'm just doing this to show you what the trade will be like. But when I said the previous 2 candle wick, what it means is not this candle wick, not this candle wick, but obviously we're not going to use the second candle wick because the first one is obviously higher. So we put it above this like that, and then I would have a 1 to 2 risk to reward. And that is the kind of setup we're going to take. Obviously it would be like this and it would be slightly different, but that is kind of what I would take for the example, and it would have hit TP, but that's completely fine. And then we are going to go to the next day, as you see here, and we're not going to miss it this time, hopefully. So we see 10, 11. So this is obviously the low now, and we've had the 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's the 4 hours of candles. And then here you see we've broken below. So now we would enter here with the stop loss just above there with a 1 to 2 risk to reward. We will go more into detail on risk to reward testing if I am looking at the results and it does look good. But we are going to enter with market execution. We don't need to have a limit. And then we are going to play the trade along. And we'll see what happens. If we just play this along, wait, you might as well just click on this one. And you see we are going overnight on this one. We will see. And now we actually are in the next day range. But I just want to see what happens. So I'm just going to hold the trade and we will see. So this is obviously the 12 o'clock. There we go, TP hit. And as you see, this was actually NFP. So there's no trade on this day. So we can move on to the next one. Let's go overnight. There we go. So now we are on the Monday. 8, 9, 10, 11. So that is obviously the low at the 11 o'clock. We'll see if we break the structure here. And as you see, I trade based off bodies. So the low for me is this body here. And now we've closed below that body. I am looking to sell. Sell like this, stop loss above. with a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Just like that. There we go. Stop loss hit. Very, very quick and easy. Okay, move on to the next one. So then we go obviously 8, 9, 10, 11. Then it gives us the range. As you see, this one technically it is a breakout structure to the upside. And what you need to do in your testing is you need to be very, very disciplined. It doesn't matter what it looks like. If it looks like it's going to win, if it looks like it's going to lose, you need to enter that trade. This obviously doesn't look like a great setup. I wouldn't personally take this. As you see, it's a lot of volatility, and when there's like a tiny break, it's not a great sign. And maybe we could see, okay, maybe if price needs to close above the wick, is it more likely to win? But these are obviously things we can actually test along the process. And maybe also if price breaks the upside, then loses, but then breaks obviously to the downside at the low side of the range, do we still take a second trade on the day? Again, something we can actually look at. And what I'm actually going to do is clear these off here so we can see. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11. And this one's obviously broken the low. So we're going to enter a short. Just like this. Those are again news on that one, but again we can look back at these trades and see, okay, were there any opportunities to firstly manage the position, secondly you change the risk to reward, maybe it's a 1 to 1 or a 1 to 1.5 that's more profitable, but again we can see that afterwards. So if I just get these back on here, if I just put this back, I think it was here, and the main reason I'm putting it back on now is so that I can look back afterwards. And then I'm going to go to the next London session. We'll drag this a little bit smaller. You'll notice that it's not as seamless as you would expect like a normal backtesting would be, but that is obviously because it's something completely new and we're testing random things on the charts basically. Again, I think there's news on this candle. Yeah, but again, higher time frame, 1 hour above, I'm happy actually trading news. And some people aren't happy. I'm personally happy with it, especially if it is, my personal capital with a prop firm. I don't mind trading it, so we can obviously trade it. And we are already halfway through January, which is completely fine. And we're obviously going through here. So we have to go to the next session here. There we go. So 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we have our little range and we have closed below that range, so we are selling. Very, very tight stop loss on this one, but as you know, that also means that it's going to be a very tight take profit. So you're going to have setups where it's completely different when you are trading like this. Obviously these ones like this have a higher chance of losing, as you see, but again, that's something we can test. I don't want you guys to jump in the comments and say, oh, your strategy is terrible. Well, yes, but that's why you test things. You would never know a strategy is profitable if you don't test. And is a strategy going to be profitable straight away and be perfectly ready to trade? Most likely not. Otherwise, everybody would be trading the same thing, So we're going to continue trading on this one. I think that hit take profit. I'm not sure which one hit first, but based on the account balance, it looks like it did hit take profit. So that's always a good sign. Okay, we'll drag that a little bit smaller. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have our range. Broken to the upside of the range. See, at the moment, it doesn't seem too disastrous. I've previously tested strategies where it will just be straight loss after loss after loss. So this one isn't disastrous yet. And when I say yet, I mean, who knows what's going to happen. But as you see here again, it's an example where potentially we could have had a trade the opposite direction. Okay, so we go to 11, break to the upside. And also you can see the difference between this trade here. obviously it's a continuation, so we continue going to the upside, and it's not technically a break, but I tested this in the previous strategy video I was doing, so I'm going to test it again just to see. And as you notice here, a lot of the trades you'll see when you're closing, or when you're entering even on the actual close of the candle, you can sometimes get a complete opposite movement basically, and I see that happen quite a lot with this style of trading. Okay, so we have 11, then we have the push up, just like this. Oof, rough one. The stop loss and take profit size is very, very varied from what I'm noticing. And you'll see here, a lot of the setups will lose instantly. So then I can go back and see, is there something different with the setups that do this? And because I'm keeping the trades on here, and if you were doing it yourself, you could take screenshots of each setup. It can be quite easy to see if there are similarities between setups that are having the same type of loss, an unavoidable loss technically. And obviously, if we can avoid a loss, then that is the best case scenario. So you see here, we 2 candles before breaking the structure, before giving us our entry. So maybe that does make a difference, rather than just the next candle breaking that structure. So we will see. Or perhaps it just loses. Yeah, it just loses as well. Doesn't really seem to matter what we trade at the moment. Okay, so now we have that break. This one's going to be a big stop loss below here, 140 pips or so. I was actually clicking too fast. I didn't realize that we've actually we've missed 2 days. That is unfortunate, and that is obviously my mistake. Yeah, it's not really great. Not really a great situation, that. But we have to obviously enter the trade, and we'll go back and look at the other ones in a second, perhaps. Obviously, we're in 2 trades now. That one hit stop loss. We'll see if the main one, or the first one even, can hit take profit. Zoom in on this one. Okay, broken to the upside. TP's in near place to the other one. And there we go, 2 TPs hit there. So if we'd actually just look back here, you can see that we broke to the upside, would have hit stop loss. This one, again, broke to the upside, would have hit stop loss immediately. This one broke to the upside, hit stop loss. And as you see, the month is actually done now. So we're going to go into the analytics and basically see. We're break even. So we've had 15 trades and it is break even. But I have been noticing certain things. As you guys have seen, well, obviously we technically down 2%. But that first trade would have won for 2% that I didn't enter. So it technically is back to break even again. But what I've actually noticed is there are a few trades that I'm seeing similarities where the same setup has an instant loss. So the next candle is an immediate meltdown. So the next episode, we're going to delve deeper into that setup and see if that's something we can potentially just keep an eye on. Maybe note down like tick, is this setup losing? And then we can see how many times that setup does lose in comparison to the other one. And also the difference in a setup between the continuation and the actual break of structure. Because obviously if it continues, there isn't technically a break of structure and price just continued the momentum from that 8 to 12 p.m. range. So those are the things we're actually going to look at, and hopefully we can sort those out in the next few episodes.